Welcome back to March on FPL. You're here with me on the Gw1 review. I'm filming this before the Leeds Everton game tonight. Now, obviously, if you were watching, you'll have seen I decided to bench boost in Game Week 1, and it's not gone very well, if I'm honest with you. Of course, the first week is just massively luck based. Any player can do well in a given game, as proven by Semenyo against Liverpool, that everyone had as quite a tricky fixture. But basically, what we're going to do is we're going to go through my team and then the fixtures also to basically just talk about a couple of key players. So the only players returning for me, Cody Gakpo, who I'm very happy with, obviously captained, got one less point than Salah. At one point, I thought Salah wasn't even going to score, so I'm really, really happy with him. Cucurella, very happy with that decision. I very, very almost went for Van Dijk, who got the defensive contribution, but obviously lost a clean sheet, which I thought Bournemouth was a tricky game. And then obviously I think they've got Arsenal and Newcastle in the next two, also the two very tricky games. So I went for Cucurella, 9 point return. Very happy with that clean sheet and three bonus points. And then lastly, Pedro Porro, who again clean sheet for Tottenham. Very happy with that. Of course. Looking at some other players, we'll start from the goalkeepers. Sells and Verbruggen, I think were both very unlucky. They're both on for clean sheets until very late in the game, as of course Murillo as well. Um, yeah, what can I say? Very, very unlucky. Moving quickly to Konsa, I can only say the same thing. Very unlucky. Aston Villa, of course, keep a clean sheet, but Konsa gets red carded. Rodon, of course, we'll see tonight. Hopefully he can keep a clean sheet for my team and also for me for a Leeds fan. Midfield was not very good, neither was the attackers apart from Gakpo. We've got Palmer, Wirtz, Fernandez, three premiums, Watkins, Bowen as well, all blanked. And then João Pedro blanked, and Dewsbury Hall see tonight. Hopefully, he does nothing because I'm a Leeds fan. So there you go. I'm on 51 points. That's the bench boost gone. Um, Listen, it's all luck. Now is the skill bit. But I'm gonna want to just talk about a couple of other players. So we'll go in order. Obviously, the Liverpool game on the Friday night against Bournemouth. Players that now I'm looking at. Basically, I'm gonna speak about Semenyo. Yeah, I really, really, really like Semenyo. I think he's got some really, really good fixtures now. He's obviously got Wolves game week 2, who looked terrible. So give you guys, well, you should know my strategy. I was bench boosting game week 1, free hitting game week 2. So the free hit is active. There'll be a video later in the week about my free hit team. So Menyo is obviously going to be in it. 2 goals scored, good fixture. Yeah. Good team as well, Bournemouth, I think. You know. Um, Other players I'm looking at, Ekatike. I think he was very good again. Um, Same as the game against Palace in the cup. Very good player. If Isak doesn't come, I think he'd be in a lot of people's teams. He'd be in mine definitely. Of course, the only reason he's not is because of Isak and the potential of him coming in. Um, for what it's worth, on a free hit against Newcastle, I'm thinking about it a little bit. Not too much, to be honest with you. I think there's better options because the fixture is very difficult. But going forward, of course, yeah, looking at him. Salah, obviously doing Salah things, scoring last minute, getting very lucky. Yeah, I think my current strategy, for what it's worth, is obviously bench boost game week 1's now done. Free hit game week 2, which there'll be a video about it. And then I think I'm going to roll game week 3, wildcard game week 4, which is in the international window, in which I think I would bring Salah in because I think he's got Burnley and Everton. It might be the other way around, Everton, Burnley. So I think I want to get back on track with that and then keep rolling transfers because Haaland has some good fixtures in game week 6, 10, 9. I think it is. I have to check that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Yeah, Salah doing Salah things. Gakpo, obviously I had him in my team. Very happy with that. I think that's about it for this game. Obviously, Van Dijk getting 21 defensive contributions is is mental. An awful lot there. I think people got very unlucky with Kirkez and Frimpong obviously coming off on the 59th minute, but that is what you're kind of getting into with them sorts of players. You know, moving on to Aston Villa Newcastle, quite a boring game. Um, I don't really think there's too much to talk about. Watkins obviously had a stinker. Rodgers had a stinker. Konsa got a red card. That's about it. You know, if you had Dan Burn, I think he's 4.5, then fair play. Defensive contribution, clean sheet, probably a couple of bonus points. Yeah. Moving on to this game again, felt Brighton Fulham felt very very unlucky with this one. Bruggen obviously conceding very very late. But apart from that, I think Verbruggen is a good option going forward. I think Brighton did okay for most of the game. Players I'm looking at Rutter, Jorginho Rutter, as a Leeds fan as well. Looking at him, um, I think he got minutes in the nine, which I think was maybe the majority of people wouldn't have expected. But he can play in the nine, he can play in the 10. Very very exciting player. Got the assist for the penalty, won the penalty, didn't take it unfortunately. That was O'Reilly, who another player I'm looking at. If he is on penalties for Brighton, he was playing in the 10. You know, now I don't know about his minutes. Brighton fans should have to let me know because obviously you could play Welbeck in the 9, Jorginho Rutter in the 10, and then O'Reilly gets pushed it back even further in a DM, which you'd assume he'd be better for defensive contributions, but not so much for the attacking output. Or we could be benched as well. I don't know. So you guys have to let me know on that one. But I think he could be a good option. I think he's 5.5, and obviously Rutter is 6. Players from Fulham, I think they're mostly an avoid. Anderson almost getting his defensive contributions. Quite like him as a pick. Moving on then, Tottenham versus Burnley 3-0. Richarlison 2 goals, Kudus 2 assists. Uh, I think the main takeaway from this, listen, we knew Spurs obviously against Burnley were going to do okay. The main takeaway from this, though, I think defensively, how sound they were. Really, really good defensively, which I don't think we'd have seen last season. This game last season could have ended 2-1, 4-1. Do you know what I mean? They probably would have conceded. I think Thomas Franks made them defensively a lot better. Obviously, this is only Burnley. We'll have to see next week against Man City how they look. It does kind of make me want to avoid Haaland on a free hit because I do think they are better defensively now. But I could still go there just for the upside that a lot of people have gone for Salah drafts and won't be able to get him. Also could be a captain option, of course, on penalties for City. He's gonna get chances, isn't he? We'll speak about him in a little bit, though. Yeah, from Spurs' point of view, I really like the defence. Romero, Van de Ven, Porro. I don't really know who's going to play left back. That could change week in, week out. Keeper as well. Vicario, obviously. Kudus. Um, I think 2 assists makes him look more flattering. I think he plays well, but I don't know about his FPL returns, how they're going to fall out. And I think Richarlison is an avoid for now, just because they have got Dominic Solanke ready to come in as soon as Richarlison isn't doing very well. Pape Sarr, just for 5 million. He got one of the assists, I think it was. Yeah, for the Johnson goal. Um, Again, he could be a nice option if he keeps a 10, but does he keep the 10, especially with the heavy links to Eze? Probably not. So probably an avoid for that one. Moving on to Sunderland versus West Ham. The massive takeaway is West Ham are in a relegation battle. For anyone that's gone for Wan-Bissaka or Diouf, it doesn't look great now. They've had their good fixture. They look terrible. Attacking as well for anyone that's gone for Bowen. I went for Bowen. Um, or the striker. I forget his name. But again, it doesn't look good. And I think, yeah, he's gone on my wild card in game week 4. Um, they did not look good at all. So Yeah, that's about as much as I have to say about them. I'd avoid West Ham assets. Sunderland, however, very good. I think they're going to be tricky to beat at home. Ballard, obviously, with a goal from as a centre back, might go for him on a free hit against Burnley. I think Burnley are going to probably struggle. I think it'll be between Sunderland and Leeds that are going for the glory. I hope it's obviously Leeds to be able to stay up, but I think them two teams are the ones you want to look out for. Burnley, I think they're already down. Um, I'd write them off for what it's worth. But yeah, very, very good for Sunderland. I'd probably be looking at a couple of players from them, maybe in a Dingra on a free hit game week 2. Man City Wolves. The main takeaway here is City are back into it. Haaland getting a couple of goals. Reinders getting a goal and an assist. 10-pointer. Well done if you went for him. Um, I've actually got a draft that I'm looking at right now. Clearly from before I had Reinders in. Very, very unfortunate for me, but listen, congratulations, you went for Reinders. I think he's a fantastic option. I'd keep him if you have him. I probably would look to try and play him against Tottenham if you can, depending on your other players. But if he's your eighth attack, you probably do bench him. But for what it's worth, um, but yeah, very good option. If you have got someone like a Rutter, maybe even a 6.5 million midfielder that you're not happy with and you want it to move to Rangers, don't think that's a bad idea. But he has obviously increased in price last night to 5.6. You have lost that price rise now, so it's probably a hold for a little bit more. But yeah, very, very attacking. He was playing in the 10 and he looked very, very good. I don't think he's going to play there long term. You've got Foden, who you'd expect to come back into the picture. Cherky came on and obviously scored. So you'd expect him, if he's going to play, which for what it's worth, I think he is almost guaranteed to play. But I think he'd be a bit deeper. And in City's ideal 11, I think you'd have Rodri as the 6 and Reinders would be the box to box. And then you'd have a 10 separate in a Cherky or a Foden or maybe a Marmoush or somebody like that. Um, which then, therefore, I think your Cherkis or your Foden, whoever is occupying that 10 position consistently, would be a better option. But if you have gone for him in the short term, I think he's a fantastic option for you. City defence, obviously keeping the clean sheet. Ain't Nuri playing quite defensive. He actually got his defensive contribution most in the game with 15. Um, I think that position will be Gvardiol's. So if you've got eight Nuri, one to keep an eye on if you've got him and need him, I think Gavardio will get that position when he's back fit. So one to keep an eye on for that. Chelsea Palace. Palace are just absolutely defensively on point, and as a team, I think they're just on point. Uh, you can see here quite a lot of the Palace players very close to defensive contributions. Lacroix and Mitchell, the only two getting them. We spoke about Lacroix quite a bit before the season started. Really like it as a pick. I think he'll be on a wild card for me. Obviously, I didn't go for him because the fixtures were quite poor for Palace, as I did not go for Sarr and Mateta. I think all three of them could be on a wild card. We'll look at that later, but yeah, I'd be happy if you own Palace players. I think they look very, very good. Chelsea, Palmer was ghosting the whole game. Did not look good. João Pedro obviously got brought off for the lap. Yeah, it's not looking good for them players. Cucurella obviously got the 3 bonus points and clean sheet. You already spoke about him. Nice 9 pointer for me. Apart from that, Sanchez got a save point. Um, yeah, there's not really too much to say. Caicedo getting defensive contribution. I think we spoke about him in my first video when I was speaking about defensive contributions. So I think he was 5.5 million. So one to keep an eye on. Obviously, it'd be on for a minimum of a 5 pointer, which is basically an assist. So could be quite nice. Nottingham Forest, Brentford getting really unlucky. Most people, I think, most people had at least one Nottingham Forest defender. I had two, and conceding so late for a penalty is just really, really annoying, if I'm honest. Um, but yeah, it is what it is. They Nottingham Forest look really good attacking. Chris Wood is obviously an incredible option as of last year as well. Everyone thought kind of, the data's been so poor in this academic year. He didn't score in the back end of last year. He didn't score in pre-season, but listen, Chris Wood always scores, so great option. Any of the defenders, Aine getting the defensive contribution is quite funny because everyone was saying, don't go for him, he's the worst for that, worst for attacking. He's the one that comes away with the points. So yeah. Um FPL's a great game, isn't it? And then last but not least, Man United Arsenal. I thought Man United played really, really well for most of the game. Um Arsenal obviously scoring from a corner. It does make me want to go for a potential triple defense on a free hit, just because Leeds, I know, are quite poor from corners and set pieces. Obviously, there is a new keeper now. I'm obviously going to be watching the game tonight, and that'll give me some more information on it. But I can see myself potentially going for maybe like a Gabriel Saliba Calafiori, if I think Calafiori is definitely going to play, or something like that, maybe a Timber. Having said that, I do think Saka is one of the best captaincy options this week, if not the best captaincy option this week. So it'd probably be something like a Saka Gabriel Saliba on my free hit, unless there's another, if Gyökeres is almost guaranteed to start, maybe go for a little punt on him on the free hit. Bruno Fernandes, 1 point off the defensive contribution. Obviously, that could still get changed. If they can find another one, but it is what it is. I think he's still a good option. I think, the only reason he didn't get his defensive contribution is because Man United had the ball for most of the game. Um, and he was still creating chances, etc. I think that's a hold and try and wait and see on that one. Um, but yeah, for what it's worth, I thought Dorgu played really, really well. I'm definitely looking at him from a wild card 4 point of view. I think that's everything. Obviously, Leeds versus Everton tonight, 8 o'clock. I will be watching that very closely as a fan, mostly a Leeds fan, but also for FPL, seeing if any of the Everton players are going to be worth it, any of the Leeds players are going to be worth it, etc., or whether to target either of the teams. Of course, I don't want to target Leeds, but I also want my FPL points. So yeah, yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Of course, finishing 51 points with two to play, Dewsbury Hall and Joe Rodon. So hoping for a Leeds United clean sheet and Dewsbury Hall to do nothing. Maybe a little Joe Rodon bullet header to get me a nice rank increase. Rank is 4.5 million. Not really looking at that until at least game week 10, 11. Um, but yeah, not a great start if I'm completely honest. But I think most people have had quite poor game weeks. Let me know what how many points you got this week because I actually am very interested. Obviously 51. I think that's probably about average for engaged FPL managers. Uh, Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below how you've done this game week, and I'll see you later on in the week for a free hit team selection. Thank you very much. Peace.